If you want to write a book in 30 days, then you're in the right place. Last year in July, I wrote 75,000 words and had a complete manuscript by the end of the month. I'm going to share with you my exact process for how I achieved that. And the first thing we're going to talk about is outlining. Now, the outline I'm doing today is going to be for a short story collection, and I'm so excited about this collection. The outline is specifically for the first book in the short story collection, and if you want to outline along with me, you can click the link for my free outlining template down in the description. But I really want to talk to you about the importance of outlining, because for a really long time, I didn't outline at all. I thought outlining was stupid. I thought it was so constricting. Last year, I decided to challenge myself and write a book in 30 days. And I just did a really simple outline, just like the one that I'm doing today, and it completely changed everything. When I got stuck or when I had writer's block, I was able to just look at my outline and be like, oh, okay, I just need to do this next. And it was so simple. I'm definitely more of a pantser, and if you're not sure what that is, there are two different terms that sort of describe styles of writing. These, of course, aren't the only styles of writing, and honestly, I think everybody has a little bit of a blend between these two, but there's the pantser or the discovery writer, and then there's the plotter, who tends to plot everything out, just like the name describes. Basically, this is just how much prep work you do before you actually write your novel. So as a discovery writer, I thrive when I don't have any prep work whatsoever. And the problem with that is that sometimes I just go on these really, really long tangents, and then I get distracted from the main plot of the story. And before you know it, I've written 300,000 words when I kept telling myself I'm almost at the end. Thankfully, having an outline during my 30-day write a book challenge really helped me to focus and not get distracted, so that by the time that I actually started editing the novel, I could just enjoy the discovery process. I'm on the fourth draft now, and I'm loving the way that the characters are developing. I'd love to know which one you are. Tell me in the comments whether or not you're a pantser or a plotter. And since outlining worked so well for me for staying focused, I thought this time I would try to sort of plan out my characters ahead of time. So I've got this great character Bible that you can find on my website. It gives you everything you need all in one place in order to just sort through and develop your protagonists and your characters and create some fantasy races. And today I thought I'd do my protagonist and my antagonist, because those are the most important characters that you need to understand before you actually write your first draft. And even then, I feel like the only thing you really need to know about the antagonist is what their main goal is and what's preventing them from accomplishing that goal. But today we are going to be going over everything from our primary goals to our likes and dislikes. I don't think you need a character's song. That's stupid. And I even put in a little notes section so that as you're writing, you can jot down interesting things that you discover along the way as you're writing, or if anything happens in the story that's really important to the plot, you can put it here so that when you're going and writing additional books later, or if you're writing a series and you don't want to get facts mixed up as you're going, then this is a great section where you can keep track of that stuff. I was actually really excited to outline my characters, but as I went through this, I kind of found that I didn't like it so much. For me, the best part of writing characters is discovering who they're going to become during the editing process. So trying to outline and organize everything ahead of time kind of took the joy out of the character development process for me. So I think I'm going to use this more as like a notes tool than anything else in the future. But that's the great thing about this character Bible, is that you can use it whether you're a pantser or a plotter. The main things that I wrote down here were the backstory and the character arc. And the most important thing about your character arc and the best way to write better characters is just to know the beginning and the end of the character arc. If you've watched any of my other writing videos, you've probably heard me say I love to think of writing as like a traveling itinerary. It's much easier to decide how you're going to get from point A to point B if you know where point B is. So the beginning of the story is that we have our character and she wants to go and fight these witches. But at the end, she is offered an ultimatum and decides that she doesn't want to fight witches anymore. You know, she's kind of tired of killing witches. And like one thing to consider here that is already sort of working itself out in my discovery writer style is that I have this character Silas that I've mentioned, and I realized Silas is probably going to be an ally throughout the entire time, and then at the end he's going to reveal himself as someone who has been sent to assassinate her. And the antagonist is actually fairly simple. I've found that some of the best stories I've watched and some of the best stories that I've read have really simple antagonists. They don't have really complicated goals. It's just, you know, world domination, no strings attached. Like, that's all he wants, is to conquer the world. The thing that my husband recently pointed out to me is that in order to make the antagonist more interesting, there has to be something preventing the antagonist from achieving his goal. So, like, one great example of this is the antagonist from K-pop Demon Hunters. He's, you know, just this like demon who wants to eat as many souls as possible. But unfortunately, because of this darn magical barrier, he can't get there. So he needs to send in his K-pop demon boy band. And thus ensues the amazing story of K-pop Demon Hunters. I think we can all agree that that was a very good story, even though it was told for a young audience. I think that a lot of the newer novels that have come out really sort of overcomplicate everything, and that's just not, we don't need that. Like, a simple antagonist is good. So in my short story collection, the antagonist just wants to get rich, is really what he wants. He has to keep his god happy in order to stay rich. But that's his goal. He just wants money. Money, 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 money. Now, the last thing I really want to touch on is world building, and this may not seem that important unless you're writing a fantasy novel, but world building is essential to any fiction novel. Even if you're writing historical fiction, you still need to understand that history in order to properly build the world that you're trying to immerse your readers in. So for this particular short story collection, the world is actually already established because I'm taking a leaf out of Brandon Sanderson's book, and I'm writing this short story collection in the world that is already built for the novel I've been writing since high school. So I already know what a lot of the like towns and nations and stuff are going to be called. I know what the primary religion is, and I know enough about the politics that I can sort of weave that in there without it like overwhelming the main story. I think that depending on who you are, there are different parts of world building that are going to be easier than others. I love creating the geography and building a map and really thinking about like resources and what the land does and how nature interacts with my characters. I love that part of world building, but unfortunately there are some aspects of world building that I just really struggle with. The hardest one for me is probably politics, and that's because I honestly don't really care about politics in real life, so that's one of those things that just kind of bleeds its way into my writing. And so I have to be really aware of that and take some time to sort of learn about politics. And, you know, no one wants to learn about politics, right? But the other thing that I sort of struggle with is religions. And I actually think you can make really interesting religions, and often what I do for my religions is I take sort of pre-established religions that already exist on Earth, and I turn them into religions in my stories, and then I just, you know, add in one or two different things that I can kind of weave in and give it its own special flavor. I find it a lot easier to just kind of alter religions that already exist and then turn them into my own special thing. But maybe I should try building a religion from scratch. And if you think that sounds like fun, then like this video. And if this video gets at least 5 likes, then I will turn that religion concept into a video in the future. I also thought that I'd touch a little bit on digital versus handwritten. I honestly much prefer writing my book by hand, but I have found that it's so much easier with my ADHD for me to stay organized if I keep everything on the computer. So I have really struggled to transition to a digital character Bible and a digital manuscript, but that is where I'm at, and I have managed to be successful. I still have my character Bible for the Cursed Princess outside of the computer. I think I still prefer it that way, but I used to keep all of my notes in different places, and obviously that's not going to work well because then when you need something, it's kind of hard to find it. And to be honest, the way I have it organized right now is not the best because I kept adding things and then getting sidetracked and writing a different page. And then I was like, oh, but I should make this region over here. And so I've got everything in one composition notebook. So I at least know that if I'm looking for it and I need to find it, I can just look in that composition notebook and there it is. But maybe it's not as well organized as it could be. I'll work on that in the future, but yeah, that's where we are. So the next step is to just write the book. And I know one of the hardest parts is that blank page. So if you need help getting past that blank page, then check out my video for getting over writer's block right here, and I will see you over there. Thank you so much for watching. Bye bye.